Hello, I'm Kevin the Tech Guy. Thanks for your interest in this video, this blog post, my YouTube channel, and my home business over at kevinthetechguy.ca. Let's talk about Firefox permissions. If you just installed Firefox, or even if you've been using it for a number of years, there's a part of the settings that I always recommend checking out, and that's the permissions. A lot of people don't pay much attention to these, but they control what websites are allowed to do, specifically in terms of permissions and notifications. Things like autoplay videos, accessing your location, accessing your webcam, different things like that. Personally, the first thing I do is disable all notifications and autoplay access across the board. Every site seems to want to pop up alerts or play videos automatically to grab your attention. But honestly, there's no good reason for either. The good news is that Firefox gives you full control. You just have to know where to look. So in this video, I'll show you exactly where to find these settings in Firefox, how I configure them for how I want to do things. Of course, it's up to you, but I'll at least show you where things are and why it's worth spending just a couple of minutes to lock this stuff down. Let's take a look. It really only takes a few minutes to take a look at and to change to, in my view, drastically improve our experience using Firefox, going to various websites, and what they have access to, in addition to what they can request access to. So at the top left of Firefox, I'll zoom in here. Here's my menu bar. And if you don't see that in Firefox, you can just press the Alt key on your keyboard, or you can right-click in an open area above the address bar and tabs, excuse me, and make sure there's a check mark next to menu bar by clicking on that. So let's go to Tools and then Settings. So the first thing we'll see is the General tab, but we don't want to do anything on this tab right now. If you want to configure Firefox kind of overall, going to everything in terms of setup, you can check out my paid subscribers video in which I dive into that, going to each of those tabs and kind of going through the settings I change when I set Firefox up after installing it. But for the sake of this video, let's go to Privacy and Security on the left there. And let's scroll down here to the permissioned section, as you might have guessed. Microphone, speaker selection, notifications, autoplay, virtual reality of all things, and a couple of check marks there, check boxes for a couple of exceptions. For the most part, I don't touch these. There's only a couple that I go into because the default behavior of Firefox when it comes to any website you visit, it has to ask for permission to access the webcam, access the microphone, and different things, right? So you have control over that in that moment. You don't want to disable it here. I made that mistake kind of when they introduced these settings, or at least it kind of expanded upon them. And why would I want a website to have access to my microphone, right? But then Zoom came along and so forth. You have, for example, the camera, where even the microphone permissions disabled across the board, right? You can use these settings to block access to all websites from having the ability to even request access. So it'll be Zoom or anything else. It's not even going to ask you. It's just going to, oops, sorry, can't do it. You can't use this website. We can't use your microphone. That's the end of it until you go back in here. So for the most part, I leave these alone. Each website will ask you, and you can say yes, you can say no, or allow, or don't allow, in order to have control in that moment where you really want to have that video call or whatever you're doing, right? You don't want to have to dive into settings and figure out what's going on. So the two areas that I go into are right here. The two areas that I go into are right here. Notifications and autoplay. The two areas in permissions within settings where I go to block access to them across the board for all websites are autoplay and notifications. So let's go into the settings for notifications. Let's take a second and go over this. The following websites have requested to send you notifications. You can specify which websites are allowed to send you notifications. You can also block new requests asking you to allow notifications. So this means that you'd be creating a whitelist because the check mark at the bottom there for block new requests, which I'll get to in a second, that's across the board, right? No website going forward will be able to send you a notification or even request the ability to send you a notification, and that's the way that we want it. But in the case, but there might be certain exceptions, and then you can whitelist certain websites to be exceptions. Okay. At the bottom here, we have block new requests asking to allow notifications. This will prevent any websites not listed above from requesting permission to send notifications. Blocking notifications may break some website features. I have yet to have that happen in any obvious way. So I have that checked. So that means that no website can request to send me a notification. Never mind, send me any notifications at all. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't need websites to do that. I've never seen the point in that, frankly. Maybe you're at a Chromebook or something, and the browser is what you're using to do everything. But in my case on Windows, that's not necessary. All right, so I'll click on Save Changes there. And the next area that I want to go into is autoplay. So I'll zoom into autoplay there, and we'll go to Settings. And I'll zoom in here again. So the default behavior for all websites in terms of autoplay in Firefox, in modern current versions of Firefox, is to, again, it's for all websites. This is out of the gates the moment that Firefox is installed. We have allow audio and video, block audio, or block audio and video. I believe the default is to block audio. I prefer to block audio and video. Now, to be clear, when it says block audio and video, and that's the default for all websites, that when we change it to this particular setting in that drop-down menu, this is in terms of autoplay. Okay, you'll still see the thing you can press play on the player, right, on any given site, YouTube, etc. You can still press play, you can still hear the audio, or you can watch the video. This does not stop that. This makes it so that that audio or video that you're trying to listen to or watch doesn't play automatically. It's not that you're not seeing it or seeing the ability to access that content. It just doesn't play it the second the page loads. All right, so we're back to this page in Firefox here in terms of the autoplay permissions in Firefox. So now that I've blocked the ability in Firefox for it to autoplay audio and video on any given website, I can then click on Save Changes. And now we have the understanding with Firefox that it will not allow on any website, for the most part, the ones that are in lockstep with Firefox, that are playing by its rules, they will not autoplay an audio or video file the second the page loads. You'll have to click on play to view that content, to listen to that content. So that's basically it in terms of the permissions within Firefox, the modern current versions of Firefox, where the permissions have been expanded in recent years. And I very much appreciate those particular two areas of settings, notifications and autoplay, where I can disable those across the board. And then in the case of notifications, I can whitelist certain sites so that they won't be blocked from sending me notifications if I so choose. I don't do that, but you can. And then autoplay so that it's disabled across the board for websites that play nice with Firefox, but it doesn't block the actual content. You can press play on it, and that's the way I think most people prefer to do it, because websites that YouTube included, frankly, that want to autoplay content right off the bat to grab your attention, I want that control, right? Sometimes if it's on a blog post or what have you, having that choice of how to interact with that content and when you do it uh, is just the way it should be. Thanks again for checking out this channel and my home business website over at kevinthetechguy.ca. Please consider becoming a paid subscriber. I can't do this work without your support. If you appreciated this video and my work here, please take a moment to hit that like button. It would mean a lot. Or even subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.